Hey, this is Dr. Paul Paez. I was requested to give more information as to why I'm asking for support in my trip to Standing Rock. So this is a map of the current pipeline that is running from North Dakota, the Bakken Shale fields south, and the proposal is for a pipeline to be laid down through North Dakota, South Dakota, and Iowa, which is what that looks like right there. And then it ends up right here in Illinois, which is where there's a major relay station, and then that pipeline continues down to the Gulf of Mexico. So this method that they're using to extract the oil is called fracking, and so that oil is being pulled out, and then they want to run it down the pipe. And that little spot right there is where the Sioux Reservation is in North Dakota. And if we just bring it over here, you'll see a little close-up of it. That's the green spot right there. And this is the pipeline running through there. And as you can see right there is the Missouri River. So the proposed route for the pipeline, and they're really already laid down the sort of like the initial groundwork. They haven't laid down the pipe yet, but they basically just make this big, huge, wide area to lay down the pipe. So they want to cross the Missouri River right there. And in case you don't know where the Missouri River is, here's a nice little map of the Missouri River. It's huge. 1,000+ miles of water. So the concern here is that if or when the pipeline breaks, sorry about that, it's going to pollute the Missouri River, and it's going to affect multiple states. There was an original route that was supposed to go up north of Bismarck, and I think supposedly some voting was done, and they decided to reroute it through this point here, which you can see this is called Standing Rock Indian Reservation, or the Lakota Reservation, and it used to be that big. And this was the land that was quote unquote given to the native people. I believe it was 1851, 1868, and you could see how much smaller it's gotten over time. They've essentially, the U.S. government has taken away the land, and it's actually done illegally. So technically, where this pipeline is running through original treaty land, and the Dakota Pipeline Company is breaking the law. They're citing that they purchased the land, and I won't go into that right now. But I just want you to know that it is an illegal project. They're supposed to get permits as well to cross the river, and they haven't gotten the permit. President Obama had asked them to stop construction. They did not stop construction. They're continuing. So the concern here is a major environmental impact. This is water that the Standing Rock Indian Reservation needs in order to survive. And the one last little bit of information I have right down here. It says this is according to the Dakota Pipeline Company, that 470,000 barrels per day, with a capacity as high as 570,000 barrels per day of crude. It's called sweet crude oil, will be going through this pipeline. So if you've been watching the news, there's been a couple of pipelines recently in the last couple of months that have exploded. The most recent one in Alabama. So this is a very real scenario of loss of integrity of the pipeline. And so there are now currently about 5,000, maybe 6,000 people on the reservation from all over the country. It's not just the Lakota, but it's actually people from all over the country. In fact, all over the world. It's the first time that over 400 tribes have gotten together, tribes from North America that have never, that haven't communicated in hundreds of years, are actually gathering here because they realize the significance of this project and how devastating it would be, not only to the reservation, but how devastating it would be to our country in general. So I'm going to provide chiropractic care to the people who are there protecting our water, protecting, saying this is not okay, they need to stop. And they've been doing this since April of this year, so they're tired physically, emotionally, spiritually, and I'm hoping to go out there for a week to help them out. So you know, they're dealing with a lot of police brutality. You know, they are standing there, you know, quote unquote on protest, but they prefer saying protecting, and the police are using tactics that are just brutal. It's unbelievable what they're doing to these people, and it's not just Native people. There's people from all over the country. So people like you, me, and everyone else. Yeah, and unfortunately, it's all getting backed up by the Dakota Access Pipeline. So, if you if that helps, which I hope it does, to understand what's going on and why I'm going out there, and you feel moved to help me get out there, again, I'm looking towards getting out there in now about 10 days. I was already able to order a couple of very important items through the help of those who have donated, and there's still a bit more to go. We're about a third of the way to the goal of 1,500, and any help you can provide, I'd really appreciate it.